You guys want to know what I looked like back in my high school days? There it is. Go ahead, ladies, drink it in. So, the Atlanta Braves are your new World Series champions of the world. Woo! Yeah. All right. We are a few days removed from the championship. The parade was Friday. It was great. I didn't go because we're still in a pandemic and I don't want to catch COVID. So now we're on to a new week. People here are still excited. They are looking forward to the future of this team. And so now, we focus on the off season and what happens with the teams in the MLB. More importantly, the Atlanta Braves. But that's not what I want to talk about. The Braves is not what I wanted to talk about. What I want to talk about is the crap that's surrounding the Braves and that was surrounding them during the World Series. So during the World Series, I was looking at some highlights and I came across this video and it had Carrie Champion on it. I was exposed to Carrie Champion on First Take when she was on ESPN with Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless. And this was back when I was watching ESPN before I realized it was trash, just like these other sport outlet media shows. And so she's on this show called The Cross Connection with Tiffany Cross. And Tiffany asked her what are her thoughts on the whole tomahawk chop and the whole racism in baseball, basically. But before she asks her what are her thoughts, they play a little clip of, I think his name is Rob Manfield. He's the commissioner of the MLB. And in this clip, he's talking about the tomahawk chop, and he's referring to the Native Americans and that the Native Americans in Atlanta are comfortable with it and the Braves know what they're doing. And then a reporter asks him, well, if you know that the Native Americans are comfortable in Atlanta or with the Braves, then how do you know that they're comfortable in the entire country? And he says, I don't know how every Native American feels, but he is 100% sure that the Braves, understand how they feel. And then the clip basically ends. Side note, there was some little white chick that was standing behind them making faces. It was like, what are you frowning for? That kind of annoyed me. But so anyway, Tiffany asked her, Carrie Champion, what are her thoughts? And I actually wrote her answer down. And she says, it's interesting because I remember when he became the commissioner of Major League Baseball, and some of his promises were to really make this sport much more inclusive. And for so long has been synonymous with the ism, whether it be racism, exclusive isms. This sounds like someone who's been in a microscope, working under a microscope, and listening to people tell him, it's okay to do this. It's just not, he knows that. Unfortunately, what we're going to see tonight, especially freaking alarm. I don't know if you guys could hear that. There was an alarm going off. Anyway, with that former president, they're at game 4. Is what baseball represents. In a very sad way, I think that they need to really, really discover why they have this issue and why, in fact, people feel like baseball is not for everyone. It is a club, a good old boys club. And the host is like, completely. So after I heard that, I just kind of chuckled to myself because you can't take this shit seriously. How I look at the whole tomahawk chop and these sports organizations that has this, I guess, this stigma of racism. I look at it as from a standpoint of it's a sport. It's sports at the end of the day. People who do the tomahawk chop, I don't see as people who are just being racist and spreading hatred and blah, 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 blah. I look at it as they're really into their team. They're excited about seeing their team win or score a touchdown, hit a home run, score a basket, or get a defensive stop, whatever. That's how I look at it. It's sports. And for her to say they need to really, really discover why they have this issue and why, in fact, people feel like baseball is not for everyone. It is a club, a good old boys club. I don't know what that meant. That the good old boys part that kind of came off as elementary to me. Like how kids back in the day would have like boys allowed, no girls allowed. That's what that felt like. But For her to make it seem like baseball is this racist, evil entity, and like no one is allowed, I don't necessarily agree with that. And I don't really follow baseball as much as I do football, but whenever I tune into a baseball game or just so happen to catch some baseball highlights, I see a bunch of Dominican and like foreign players. I think that every team in the MLB, I wouldn't be surprised that if every single team that plays in the MLB had like a Dominican or a foreign player on it. You know, coming up to bat, it's Jose Matuki, and pitching as a starter for the Milwaukee Brewers is Yusuke Urameshi. That's what I took from it, as in like baseball is not for everyone. I mean, you're seeing people from different countries and people coming from all over the world that are playing in this very popular American sport, and I'm pretty sure that there are fans from all over the world that watch these foreign players. So I don't really get all this racism, and I really don't see what the big deal is. And someone might say, well, you're not Native American, okay, but I am a sports fan, and I am black, if that makes any difference. So I would be offended by this as well, but I'm not, because again, this is sports, people. Why is this a thing anyway? The Braves alone winning a championship is a great story to cover and to talk about, because this was a team that struggled getting over 500 through like half the season. They had a lot of injuries. One of their best players went down in Ronald Acuna for the year. Things were looking bleak. No one picked this team to win a World Series. People were talking about blowing this team up, trading this guy or that guy, and getting some draft picks or high-level pitcher. But then during the trade deadline, they brought in some guys like Jorge Soler, Jock Peterson, right? And then, so on and so forth. They went on to win a championship. They beat the Dodgers, who they blew a 3-1 lead in the NLCS last season. Then they beat the Houston Astros, who was considered to be the best team in the MLB. And not only that, we lost Hank Aaron. So why not talk about the Braves from that standpoint, as in like, okay, this was great for the city. This was a magical year for this team. They hadn't won a championship since 1995. Hank Aaron died. They could have used this World Series win in a way to commemorate Hank Aaron. But no, it's, well, these people are doing the chops and it needs to stop. It's racist. But I guarantee you that these same people who are offended and so upset about the chop and transgender jokes and comedians mispronouncing celebrity names are these same people that probably partakes in something that would come off as offensive, or something that doesn't come off so clean and nice, like rap. They probably listen to, I don't know, these other garbage rappers who rap about killing somebody, kidnapping somebody, having sex with someone's girl, and then tossing her aside, giving her to her friend, and me and my friends, we ran a train on her, or shit like that. I guarantee you that they vulgar music like that. This is the era of the offended, people. This is the era of the offended. So with all that being said, please tell me what you thought about the video. Tell me what you think about this whole tomahawk issue, this whole racism issue. Please leave a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. For the record, I don't really talk about politics and racism a whole lot, because in situations like this, I just don't think it's that serious. This is sports. Sports are a way for people to get away from their stressful lives or whatever bad thing that they're going through. They just want to have a good time with their friends and their families. Just sit down and watch a ball game. That's it. I mean, there are way more troubling issues out there in the world that really needs to be talked about, rather than worrying about some tomahawk chop. To Chiefs fans and Braves fans, Indian fans, enjoy your teams, have a good time, and stay safe. And that's it. I am out.